as the title, is you want just to talk that the Amazon is very close to a tipping point of becoming a highly degraded ecosystem, and then why we need very urgent nature-based solutions. Uh, and well, first let me say the Amazon forest evolved over tens of millions of years. It's the largest tropical forest on the planet, particularly since the Andes Mountains uplifted starting 40 million years ago, created the conditions, ecological, geological evolution for a system in which the forest plays a very important role in recycling water. And in the Amazon, uh, about 30% of the rainfall depends on recycling of water. And also, uh, this evolution allow for forests with maximum biodiversity in the planet. The Amazon has 13% of all known animal and plant species. For instance, it's known 16,000 tree species in the Amazon forest. So this is evolution, a very efficient evolution. For instance, near the uh, near the Atlantic coast, near the Atlantic coast, and there is okay. I think he's going to share the screen here with my presentation. Uh, are you going to share my screen? You share the screen with my presentation. I can see there Carlos Nobre Paris lecture. So let me continue. Then, uh, so this evolution, as I mentioned, created conditions for development of large-scale biodiversity, most on the planet. 13% of all plants and animal species, 50,000 plant species, more than 2,000 fish, fresh floor water fishes. And also a very important element is the recycling of water. So due to the fact that the forest transpires very efficiently water, and there is a lot of evapotranspiration during the dry season, increasing rainfall even during the dry season. So, and this recycling of water makes the Amazon to export a lot of water vapor. We call uh, flying rivers, aerial rivers, about all the water vapor that comes from the Atlantic Ocean by the trade winds. 55% go back to the ocean. This is the Amazon River discharge, and 45% comes out of the Amazon to the south, uh, helping rainfall systems in many other ecosystems outside of the basin. So this is very, very important element. The Amazon stores more than 150 billion tons of carbon in the soil, in the vegetation. So this is the evolution over uh, millions, tens of millions of years. However, we, particularly in the last decades, in the last 50, 70 years, we are doing a lot of changes in the Amazon, mostly associated with climate change. Global warming is inducing very, very severe record-breaking droughts, frequent droughts. So we have had uh, four severe droughts: 2005, 2010, 2015, 16, 2023, 24. This one, uh, the record-breaking drought, 2023, 24. And those record-breaking droughts are, as many of these uh, extreme uh, uh, events, weather and climate events due to global warming. So before, a severe drought would happen once every 2 decades. Now, four severe droughts in uh, 2 decades. And particularly this one, 2023, 2024, associated with El Nino, a strong El Nino, but also a record-breaking temperature in the North Atlantic. So this is one element, but also we have another element, which is deforestation and degradation. We have about 2 million square uh, kilometers, about close to 1 million deforested and another million degraded. This is mostly over 1970s in most of the Amazonian countries. And so that also has caused a lot of climate change, increase in temperature. This is mostly replaced by uh, pasture on cattle ranches, but also some other crops like soy crops. So this is what's going on. And of course, also a very large increase in wildfires, uh, which are the main driver of Amazon degradation. We have, as I mentioned, almost 1 million square kilometers already degraded, associated with fires, associated with also selective selective logging. So all those elements are the drivers, and this is taking the Amazon very close to a tipping point. And why do we say it's very close to a tipping point? Is because we see this closeness to the tipping point. Why? Well, since 1979, the Amazon uh, dry season over most of southern Amazon, this is from the Atlantic coast all the way to Bolivia. This is 2.3 million square kilometers. The dry season is 4 to 5 weeks lengthier. The dry season is becoming much longer, and 1 week per decade. If the dry season, which was before 3, maximum 4 months long, reaches 6 months, this does not maintain the forest. With the ecosystem with this 6 months dry season is the tropical savanna. So the tropical savanna is the biome south of the Amazon, north of the Amazon. So in 2, 3, 4 decades, not more, perhaps 2, 3 decades, by 2050, if this continues, the dry season will become like 5 to 6 months, and then the forest will degrade into this open canopy ecosystems we call savannization of the Amazon. And also, tree mortality is increasing. This is associated with longer dry season. Dry season, the temperature is 2, 3 degrees warmer, 20, 30% drier, and tree mortality is increasing in most of these parts of the Amazon, southern, eastern Amazon, and over southeastern Amazon, the forest has becoming a carbon source. So that's why the Amazon is very close to the tipping point. And if the tipping point is crossed, and we published a paper a month ago in Nature showing by 2050, we may have crossed the tipping point. And if that happens within 30 to 50 years, not less than 50%, but up to 70% of the forest will degrade, will release more than 250 billion tons, affect tremendously biodiversity, and also reduce the aerial rivers, less water vapor transported outside of the Amazon. So that will be a global climate impact, particularly, as I mentioned, emissions of more than 250 billion tons of carbon dioxide, making almost impossible reaching the Paris Agreement of 1.5 degrees. So this is really the situation today. And I want now just to advance on why we need nature-based solutions. We need nature-based solutions. Otherwise, we are going to cross the tipping point very soon. So the nature-based solutions are several elements. I should say big challenging one is we have to get zero deforestation, zero degradation, wildfires. And fortunately, 2023 was the first year in 11 years in which there was a rapid reduction of deforestation in all of the Amazon. Only Bolivia showed increase in deforestation, but all the rest of the Amazon showed reduction of deforestation, and 50% reduction of deforestation 2023, and the first 3 months 2024 also continue showing reduction of deforestation. So if we really are able, on average, for many years, deforestation was something like 17 to 20,000 square kilometers, and last in 2023 was less than 8,000 square kilometers and continued to reduce. So this is a very good news, and all Amazonian countries have agreements to get to zero deforestation degradation by 2030. So this is the first way. And of course, we have to find also other solutions, not only to get zero deforestation. And one big challenge is to create very large scale forest restoration. As I mentioned, 2 million square kilometers, the forest degraded. And then we proposed at COP27 in Egypt the project called Arcs of Restoration. So restoring 2 arcs of restoration, one over southern Amazon from the Atlantic to Bolivia, and another one along the Andes, Peru, Ecuador, and Colombia. That's the area with the largest biodiversity in the Amazon, therefore the largest biodiversity in the planet. So this is very important to restore a minimum of 500,000 square kilometers, perhaps even more, perhaps getting to 1 million. And fortunately, one of the Amazonian countries, Brazil, launched during COP28 the project called Arc of Restoration, which is the restoration of Brazilian Amazon. This is 240,000 square kilometers all over southern Amazon. So the Brazilian government is looking for the ways, the funding, the mechanisms, the technologies to give scales of billions and billions of trees. And this project has already started. And before now, in the 2030, 60,000 square kilometers. And then from 2030 to 2050, another 180,000 square kilometers, a total 240,000 square kilometers. Very important because the secondary forest regrowing reduces the warming, also recycles water. So it would be really mandatory to work hard to avoid the tipping point. And of course, we hope there will be large scale forest restoration projects all over the Amazonian countries, not only in Brazil. And of course, the secondary forest in the Amazon removes a lot of carbon dioxide. For instance, secondary forest growing for something like 35 years, very fast growth, removes 12 to 15 tons of carbon dioxide per hectare per year. So that would also remove more than 500, 600 million tons of carbon dioxide, also important element combating the climate emergency. And then the last but not least nature-based solution is the what we call a new bioeconomy, because the economy in the Amazon has been mostly associated with livestock farming, soy crops, mining. Most of the mining is illegal. Mining is leading, gold mining is leading to a terrible pollution, mercury pollution of the rivers, creating a health problem, a very serious health problem to all Amazonian populations. So we have to think of a new economy. So we call a social bioeconomy of healthy standing forests and flowing rivers. So is it possible to have an economy with the forest standing? Yes, for sure. We have seen clearly that even the agroforestry systems in the Amazon, there are many cooperatives producing uh, tens and tens of products from the forest, from the biodiversity, and they are also economically, they make a lot of sense, and also socially they make sense. I will give you very briefly three figures here. Cattle ranches, they give a profit per hectare of about $100 per year. Soy crops, $200 to $300, and agroforestry systems in the Amazon uh, between 300 and $700 per year per hectare. So it's also more profitable. And also livestock, cattle ranches hire only 1 to 2 workers per 100 hectares, soy crops 0.5 to 1, and agroforest systems 10 to 20. So they really give better quality of life 10 to 20 times more people and also more profitable and maintain the forest. So this is the new social bioeconomy. And one big challenge for this new social bioeconomy is, of course, adding value. So also we are developing projects in the Amazon. One is called Amazonia 4.0 initiative to bring industrialization to the heart of the Amazon, to add value to the forest products. As I said, the Amazon, the indigenous people, for instance, they use more than 2,000 products from the forest. And so there is a tremendous potential, particularly with add uh, valuing through industrialization. So this is a big challenge. And for instance, Amazon has 6.5 million square kilometers. The domain of the forest, as I said, 2 million are degraded or deforested. But in this large area, the largest tropical forest in the planet, we count only 171 factories, biofactories, only 171. So we have to give tremendous scale to this new social bioeconomy with industrialization in the Amazon, capacity development of many Amazonian communities. And for instance, we are already developing a study to 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 create in the Amazon so-called Amazonia Institute of Technology. We want to create a high-quality Institute of Technology, pan-Amazonian, in many, many Amazonian countries, with advanced innovation hubs uh, to be able to do capacity development of thousands of undergraduate and graduate students. And we selected 5 central themes for this Amazon Institute of Technology. One is forest and social biodiversity, just to value all these products. The other theme is altered landscapes, how to restore this huge area, more than 1 million square kilometers, the technologies to restore, to give scale, particularly restoring with agroforestry systems. The third one is water. The Amazon has the largest river system in the world. We have to protect this river system, but also there is a tremendous economic potential, the aquatic ecosystems. The fourth one is sustainable infrastructure. Transportation, roads are the main driver of deforestation. 95% of deforestation takes place within 5.5 kilometers on each side of roads. And we have to find sustainable infrastructure. This is, let's say, fluvial transportation, also renewable energy, teleconnectivity, and and also telemedicine. And last but not least, the fifth point is telemedicine. Also, there is millions and millions of Amazonian isolated communities. So this is the sustainable infrastructure. And then urban Amazon, 70% of the Amazonian population is urban. We have also to develop ways. So this is the idea. And also, of course, this the last, I just finished by saying how important also is to value the knowledge of indigenous people and local communities. Indigenous people have been in the Amazon for 12,000 years. As I mentioned, they use more than 2,000 products of the forest, always maintain the forest, and 1,250 medicinal plants, 250 fruits, and many, many other products. So we have really to value the knowledge of these indigenous people and local communities. And so that's basically the nature-based solutions to avoid the tipping point. We really have to, again, I will sum up, finish by saying zero deforestation, degradation, wildfires, creating a very large scale forest restoration to combat the climate emergency, but particularly to protect, to try to avoid the tipping point, and then globally speaking, to develop this new social bioeconomy of standing forests and flowing rivers. So that's the big challenge we have, but we have to move in that direction. So I will finish by just saying we have to develop these new ways, nature-based solutions for the Amazon, because really this is we need to save the Amazon, to save the Amazonian people, and this is really what all of us